this afternoon. My internet seems to be a bit funny. I hope now you can hear me well.
Yes, we can hear you.
Good, good, good. Sorry, really, it was, I don't know. It was going in and out. I tried with my phone, but that wouldn't have been very good. So let's maybe begin very soon, unless somebody has any questions about your coursework. No? Okay. So if we don't have any big questions about your coursework, I mean, if you do, by all means, we can even discuss them at, later in the class or next week or in an email or whatever you prefer, yeah? So drop me a line, I'll be happy to follow up with an email. So for today, we will continue our conversation about wind energy. And that will include a number of things I want you to be aware of and feel more comfortable with. But quite an important one is really for us to see a little bit other the technical things of how wind energy works and all of that. I think it is quite important that we give it a shot to understand what the wind energy market looks like, and I think I'm pretty keen on that for you, that you get a strong feel of what is happening right now in the wind energy market. So for this reason, I think one of the easiest ways to for you to get in touch and to understand exactly who is doing what is for us to have a market research kind of approach. So what we'll do, let me show you a slide here that I have for you. And it's really a slide just with a group exercise that we'll start off with today. So let me see, can you see my slides now? Yeah, I can see this is group work and stuff?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, good. So really what's required here, I mean, we will go into groups in a minute, but once you go into groups, what you'll need to do is to go on the internet and find the manufacturer of wind turbines. And there are many. I want you to approach this as if you're actually going to buy a wind turbine. So think of it as if, okay, if I wanted to buy a wind turbine today, what would I do? Imagine you work for a company that wants to make a wind turbine installation. What would you do? So I want you to approach it in a very, very pragmatic way. Go outside there, try to gather intelligence about what turbines are available, which one you think would serve your needs best. I mean, clearly, turbines come in all sorts of sizes. They can be onshore, they can be offshore. On that aspect, I will let you go on with whatever you think is more interesting to you. There is no, right turbine or wrong turbine. All of them are very interesting for us. So I want you to be able to find some technical characteristics, like the power and coefficient curves and all of that. I want you to be able to make some intelligent guesswork about what kind of prices these turbines might have. This is not always easy to find because turbines are not something you're buying off a shelf, so you're not going to find them at the supermarket with a price tag next to them. That doesn't exist. What you might be able to find is contractual information somewhere, some details about deals that have already taken place somewhere. That might give you a sense of potential costs for turbines. But it's very unlikely that any company will, especially for large turbines, that they will be announcing publicly their prices. That doesn't normally happen. So that's a little bit of the exercise that I want you to get into. Does that make sense to all of you? Or does anybody have any questions on that?
It's pretty clear for me.
Okay. So it sounds that nobody has any questions, but even if you do, I mean, it doesn't matter because I'm going to be, coming into your specific groups and we will be, having an opportunity to discuss any queries you have. So what I'll do then is, let me go back into the chat here and split you into groups. So how many are you today? You're about 30 people. Okay. So the rooms are now being created, and in a minute you're going to be in your rooms. Okay, rooms have been created, and I'm going to say open, which should take you to your rooms directly.
Hi.
Hi, everyone.
Okay, so is everybody able to switch on the mic, or maybe some of you are in the library or the...
I can speak with no problems.
Okay.
What about others?
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. Okay.
So should we start?
Yeah. So I think we should start by looking on the internet which are the wind turbines manufacturers, I think.
Okay. How are you going to search? Purchase wind turbines or
Yes.
producers of wind turbines?
Well, yes, I searched manufacturers really, but I think it is the same.
Uh-huh.
So I see that there is Siemens, Vestas, GE Renewable Energy. I'm looking on Google and it's not very... Okay, so...
Okay. I see that there are a lot of Chinese suppliers.
Yeah. So maybe we should choose maybe 2 or 3 different companies and compare the prices and the technical characteristics to see differences and which is the best turbine.
You know, I found something interesting in Wikipedia, and it shows small wind turbine manufacturers, the list of manufacturers, and large wind turbine manufacturers.
Okay.
And you know, it's a very big list with the countries and the names.
Okay. I don't know if it's better to look at small or large wind turbines because I don't know for which purpose we are choosing the turbine. But
I think maybe we can choose 2, 3 from large.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, it's okay.
Okay, so maybe we could look at one from China and maybe renewable energy from the United States, and I don't know. I was looking at Siemens because I know the company, but I don't know if it is better than the others.
Maybe you see there is one manufacturer in large. The name is Vestas from Denmark. It's written that's the world's largest manufacturer of.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
But we can took like the first and the second maybe, and compare the datas. I don't know.
Yeah,
Like the second one, it's Siemens, the name.
Siemens.
Siemens.
Yes.
Okay. So maybe I don't know. We should look at the same time at these two, so we can compare the characteristics.
So the first one is this, correct? Just let me send this one. Do you mean this one?
Siemens. Yeah, I think you meant that one. Okay, and the other one is Vestas, right?
Yes.
Okay. The second is Vestas.
Okay. So Vestas was the largest one, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe we start from Vestas. Or maybe one of us could share the screen so we look at the same things.
Okay, I can do it. If you don't mind.
Okay, Enercon is taken, so we have to focus on different companies in each group, I think.
Which one?
Enercon, I don't know the pronunciation.
So okay, another group already took it.
Yeah, and we are in room 5, so I think that many companies can be taken by other groups. Okay, but we may start looking at one of these two.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the information about Siemens. Actually, they produce the wind turbines together with the Spain company.
Yeah, Gamesa.
Yeah, they are like Spanish-German company.
Okay.
Here is products.
And they have both onshore and offshore wind turbines.
Yes, and here's the list of characteristics.
So they look at power rating and rotor diameter. So he said before that the power and probably the also power coefficient are important to evaluate the turbine.
I don't see power coefficient here.
No, but maybe we should look at the Siemens Gamesa. Yeah, Siemens is taken, okay, we have to change.
Web page, maybe on the web page?
Yeah, but I see on the chat that Siemens is taken by another group.
Yeah. They're typing. Okay. Maybe we can type Vestas.
Yeah, maybe
but I don't know.
At the website of Vestas.
Can someone type in the group that Vestas is already taken by us?
Not yet.
But I don't know if you can type that or.
But I don't know if we can type it
because I think it is the professor that is going in the various groups and is.
I see. Okay. Anyway, okay, let's check Vestas.
Yeah. Okay. It's Danish.
Yes. so where is the information about the turbines?
Well, there are not many informations.
Yeah, I think we need to check the
website.
site.
Okay, so they have it's divided according to the power, and I don't know.
I see. Yes, the this platform, the fourth platform, second platform, and also offshore.
Yeah.
Do we need to check each of them?
I don't know. Maybe we start from one. Okay, GE is taken, which is not
ours.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see.
Okay, so it's the industry's largest swept area and the capacity factor of over 60%.
Number of blades. Here's the information about number of blades.
It's it says 115 meters blades, so it's the length of the blades. Vestas is taken. Okay.
Should we choose another one?
I think so.
Hello.
Yes, hello.
Oh no, you have Vestas too.
Yeah.
No.
Actually, we had Siemens, and then we saw your message. Then we switched to Vestas, and now
no, that's not fair, is it? Okay, okay. Let's think for a minute. Which turbine are you looking at? Oh my God, you're looking at the monster, at the 15 megawatt.
Yes, we found we started from offshore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so do you think you will focus on this turbine?
I don't know.
Yeah, does it look interesting? It's too early, I know, but because what I'm thinking of doing, maybe I can go to the other room and say, that they shouldn't choose that turbine.
No, it's not problem.
Leave that turbine down. It's ours.
Maybe
Yeah, so should I do that?
Maybe we can choose another company.
Yeah.
I think.
You think?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So why don't you have a little think about other companies? Do that for a minute. What I'll do is I'm going to go to the next room and see what they're doing, because I have only one room left after you, to make sure that, at least the two of you don't choose the same one.
Okay.
Yeah, so have a look for a minute and I'm going to be right back to your room, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Okay, see you in a minute.
Do you see the list now?
Yeah, I see the list. Okay, so Enercon, Siemens, GE, and Vestas are taken. Maybe we should look at the Chinese one.
Yeah, I saw something like, wait, Ming Yang.
Which one?
Ming Yang. It's like after all the company that they took.
Ming Yang.
Or from China there is also Envision, but I think they already took it.
But also, like in the current manufacturers, China, Guodian Corporation, or the list CRRC, Envision Energy, Goldwind, I don't know. Maybe. Because I couldn't see the one you mentioned before.
Yes.
Maybe we can take one of the European manufacturers from, for example, from France, Belgium,
From France, I see Vernier.
Vernier.
Okay, maybe we can try.
Okay.
Yeah, I just
But maybe Chinese are leaders in this sector compared to French. I don't know.
Okay, so what's the name? Cold wind. I see. Ming Yang. Okay.
yeah, this is like the list of the biggest company in 2020.
Okay. Yang.
Ming Yang.
But we can choose also another one. It's not a problem for me.
No, but it's okay.
It's a good idea. Why not?
Okay, products.
Okay, offshore wind power, for example.
Yeah.
Offshore wind power. Oh, should we choose products? Offshore wind power. Okay, I think we should choose the products. Wind turbines products. Should we describe only one type of turbine?
I think we should compare the characteristics of more than one type and then decide which is the best one and then present only one product.
Okay, do you see these four types?
Yeah.
Yeah.
1.5, 3, 4, 6. Which one should we choose?
These are offshore. Or not?
Yes, I think offshore.
Okay.
Yeah, because I think yes, this are offshore.
Okay, so maybe I don't know.
Maybe
Maybe fourth and sixth.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Hello.
Yes.
Chinese turbines.
Yeah.
Pardon?
Yeah.
We tried to switch another one.
Yeah, no, it's a good idea. And what I can see, you see, there are Chinese turbines nowadays that are coming out. I mean, because in China they mostly use Chinese turbines, and they're really big installers. I mean, they have many very large companies installing wind turbines. So I think it's a good idea to take a look at what's happening in the Chinese market.
Okay.
Okay.
And it's something which, you know, it's I mean, for lots of us, it's a bit of an obscure market that we don't know enough about. So take a look at that, because I think in about not so many years, I think it's not going to take more than 2-3 years until we start seeing some of these turbines coming to Europe and to the US for contracts.
Okay.
So take a look at that. They haven't been used yet. It's quite funny. I think there is almost 0 Chinese turbines installed in Europe. So yeah, a lot to find out about there. So I'll try. So is it Ming Yang?
Yes.
Ming Yang. Okay. Let me write this one without messing it up.
Because we found that it's in like first 8 biggest manufacturers, I think.
Yes. Yeah, you see, that's the thing with a lot of products, wind turbines including. Quite often there are Chinese companies which do amazing stuff, and you know, nobody knows about them. I mean, if you're not in China, you would have no idea that they existed, simply because they're not exporting. So I think that there is a very strong case to be able to focus to some of that.
Okay.
It's the same with phones. If you think about it, there are many Chinese brands that we have never heard of, many car companies that we have never heard of, simply because they're not imported in Europe.
Yes, exactly.
So it is a good thing. Let's try to play along with that.
Should we compare two types of turbines?
You don't have to do two. I'd say maybe it's better if you focus on one and try to exhaust it as much as you can. It's not, it's not the easiest thing in the world, because there is a lot of information that you might struggle to find. But yeah, focus on one. I think focus on one is probably going to be a better use of your time.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
I'm going to bring you Davide Poli in your group. I can see he's unassigned.
Oops.
I know, wait, it doesn't work. Wait, no. I thought I could do it, but I cannot do it. Sorry, ignore me.
Okay.
It was a very ambitious plan, but it didn't work. Okay, I'll let you work, and I'll be rotating around, and so you can ask me more things when I come back, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
So now it's a little bit easier because we have to analyze only one.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So this is the 4 megawatts.
I think it's kilowatts.
Yeah. Okay, but it's 4,000 kilowatts. So for megawatts. Because I see the name of the product above. It's for...
yes, exactly.
Yes,
Yes,
so it's 4,000 kilowatts.
Yes, for me, you're right.
Okay. So
this is the wind speed.
Cutting wind speed. Okay, so maybe we can take note of these data. So cutting speed is 2.5 meter per second, which is quite normal, I think, because it was more or less what he said that during last class. Okay, so 2.5, and there are two models of this turbine, right? Because I see there are 2 columns.
4, 5. I think it's comparison with another one, because you remember there was a list of products with numbers. And
Yeah.
But there were no
in the list.
Yes, there were no number 5.
Yeah,
so
5.0.
So I don't know, because there was no 5, but here it is. So maybe it's another one, but we should look at the 4 megawatts. It's okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So the design wind zone class S, I don't know what it means.
Design wind zone class. I don't know. Solutions.
Maybe I look on the internet if I can find the meaning of that.
Okay. Okay, we have manual here. There are more details in the file. I will send you this file.
Okay, thank you. Okay, but did you send the file or? No.
Yes, yes.
Because I can't see it in the chat.
Yeah, too.
Just a second. What about now?
Wait a second. I still can't see it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, now
Okay. Now it's in the chat.
Okay, sorry.
Okay. So I see that the wind zone is characterized by a certain wind speed, but it's not very easy to understand because I didn't find the letter S actually.
yeah, me too.
So maybe we should look at the other data and leave that. Maybe we can ask later or.
Okay.
Okay, so cutting speed is 2.5. Rated wind speed 9.7. Rated wind speed. Okay.
I'm curious, what's the difference between cut-in wind speed and rated wind speed?
I don't know because the cutting wind speed is the minimum speed that the wind has to have to move the turbine and start producing electricity. The cutout, I know what it is because it is when the speed is too high and so they have to stop the turbine, otherwise it is damaged. Whereas the rated wind speed, I don't know if it is another way to say the power maximum speed, because he explained that on Monday, but I don't know if it is just another way to say that. So maybe I try to look for this on the internet.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I think it is the same. It's like another way to say that. Because it says that it's the wind speed at which the rated power or the maximum output power of the electrical generator is reached. So, so 9.7.
So it's like optimal wind speed.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, and then the cutout is 25. Which is average, I think, because he said that it was the cut-in was between 2.5 and 5 meters per second, and the power maximum speed was between 8 and 15. So this is a bit low, so it reaches the maximum output at a lower speed, I think. And the cut-off speed was between 20 and 30 meters per second. So it's average, 25. And design lifetime is 20.
Yeah, 20 years.
So I don't know if it is high or low.
I also don't know.
I don't even know it.
Okay, I try to search for that. And the price is in that
We also
the
need
table or not? Because
the price.
yeah, it says that a good quality modern wind turbine will generally last for 20 years.
Yeah.
And this can be extended to 25. So it is normal data. Okay, operating temperature is between -30 and 40.
I don't see the prices. I don't see the prices. Maybe we can check in Google.
Yeah, but maybe I don't know, because probably they don't sell a single turbine, but they sell the entire block, so the price is contracted with the other parties, no?
Yes. They say that it's lightweighted.
It's I didn't understand. It's lightweight.
Lightweight, yes.
High reliability, so
Yeah, actually, you can see this one is 19.5 ton.
yeah.
I think it's a generator rotor system. It's for generator, yeah. And for example, another one is 28.5. But it's not the total weight, I think.
So at the end of the other page there is rated output power, right?
Generated.
Okay, rated output power is below. Okay, where there is converter.
This one?
Yeah.
Yes, rated output power. Yes, exactly.
Power and rated output voltage. Okay, but maybe you were right. Maybe you should look at the website to see which technical aspects of this turbine the company emphasizes on the. Because I don't know, when looking only at these data, I don't know why if they are peculiar or not. Or
they are talking about high reliability.
yeah, but okay.
They talk about generator and also the cooling system. And
so high reliability in which sense? Medium cylinder drive.
I can copy. Copy and send it to you.
Thanks.
Do you think it's not possible to find the price?
I was trying. Let's check again. Price.
No, I can't find. But there is on the website, there is like in investor relation, there are all the dividend information and all the financial information about the society, and they also have. I just saw that they have a university, Mingyang University. What the fuck? Yeah.
So it has large capacity, large impeller, which I don't know what it is. And it has a high aerodynamic performance.
I just see like an article, but it's in Italian, that speaks about the Mingyang. Like the title is the world's largest wind turbine.
Yeah.
It seems like Mingyang made the big aeolic turbines 1 week ago.
Ah, okay.
In the world, but it's like in Italian. I don't know if you want that. You want me to send it? I don't know.
Well, maybe, but
Maybe for Sofia, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, 16 megawatts.
Yeah.
And we were looking at the 4 megawatts.
Yeah.
What does it mean, eolica?
Eolica is like wind turbine. Okay. So it's the biggest eolic turbine, and its blades are 118 meters long, and its power is 16 megawatts.
I think we didn't see it on the web page.
Yeah, maybe.
No, but maybe we looked only at offshore turbines, so I don't know. Yeah, but the biggest one there was 6 megawatts, I think.
Yes, yes.
Maybe it's not for sale yet.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe it's just an experimental turbine.
But maybe we can also tell something about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly what we have to to say.
I think
Yeah,
we can.
it's for the 16 megawatts turbine. It's a prototype. I see. I read the article, so. And it will be built in 2022, and it will be it will start to be operating in 2024. Okay.
Maybe we can start from short description of Mingyang company, that it's in first 8 biggest wind turbine manufacturers in the world.
Yeah.
And then say that we have decided to choose one of their offshore wind turbines which is for 4 megawatts. Give short description of technical characteristics and also then tell about this new prototype.
Yeah, and I was reading, because I'm not sure if it is an offshore wind turbine or onshore, because I was on the website and I found it just by looking at wind turbine products, and then I found this. So, but the photo is in the sea, so probably they are also offshore.
I see that the one which we have chosen is onshore.
Onshore, okay. Okay, and it says that it has the largest capacity and the ultra lightweight and ultra small volume, and also ultra low cost per kilowatt hour.
Yes, yes.
So it is advantageous for customers.
The new one is onshore or offshore? The six.
I think offshore.
Offshore.
Yeah, because it's too big.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a skyscraper.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's written in the end, yes, that it is offshore.
What, the new turbine?
Yeah, the new one.
Yeah, it's
offshore.
Yeah, they are planning to put it in off the coast of China in the Northern Sea.
Okay.
No, wait. Don't say which part of the sea, just off the coast of China, anyway.
Yeah, but
they're planning to use it also in other locations, probably also in Europe, but I don't know when.
Okay.
Okay, so the characteristics that we wrote down before were high reliability and also adaptability to different environmental conditions and temperatures, I think.
And also ultra low cost per kilowatt hour.
Yeah, and ultra low weight, because in general they tend to advise customers to buy turbines that have that have a low weight and they are not too big but highly efficient to minimize the initial costs, like the investments in the initial capital for the project.
And it's also easier to transport.
Yeah, exactly. So they minimize the costs, transport costs. And for the inherent good environmental adaptability, it says that the turbine can be designed for normal or low temperature areas based on customers' preferences. So, Tatiana, you are writing down like this a sort of summary of what we are of our discussion, or not?
Okay, let me.
No, I didn't want to force you to do that. I was think that you were doing that already.
No, I gave the plan, but didn't type. But
Okay.
you can do it. It's a good idea. First, we can say that it's Min Yang.
But who wants to present Ming Yang?
I don't know.
Too many people.
Okay. Here.
Hello.
Yes, hello.
How's it going?
We are almost done, I think.
Okay, and you haven't needed to translate anything from Chinese.
No.
Okay, that's good, because that would be difficult, I guess. But so this is a nice spec sheet for your turbine. Are you finding anything in terms of costs?
No, we tried, but we didn't find anything.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would be good to find something about Chinese turbine costs. I'll tell you what you can do. Try to look for, sometimes when there are announcements for new wind farms, there are also announcements about, what the cost of that farm was, what the investment, was that has been put into the wind farm. So maybe if you find something like that for wind farms in China, maybe you will see, that they installed that many wind turbines in with that kind of, gigawatts of installed capacity. And the cost was, I don't know, how many billions. So maybe in this way, then you can, calculate it back and say how much it will be per wind turbine or per megawatt of energy or something like that. There's no way you will find something specific for your turbines. Nobody's going to say that this particular model of Mingyang costs that much. This doesn't exist as information. But it's only, in sideways that you might be able to gather a little bit of intelligence. It would be really good if you do that, because you're the only ones doing a Chinese model. So it would be good to be able to have a sense of comparison for costs with the other guys that are doing European ones. So even if it's not for your turbine, don't worry about it. Just see if you can get Chinese turbines costs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Give it a shot. I think it's a good thing to learn from for all of us.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll leave you with it. You see, you can never rest. Carry on. And I'll see you very soon in the main room. Okay.
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 Bye bye.
Okay. I'll send.
Yeah.
You the file with the characteristics inside and main like features.
Okay, thank you.
I really don't know where we can take the costs.
I was reading because I searched Chinese turbine costs, and it says that in the past 20 years, China's wind turbines price has fallen by 70% to 3,550 yuan per kilowatt.
Okay. How much once again?
It's 3,550 yuan per kilowatt.
Yuan.
Wait, I'll send you the text. Okay.
Okay.
But I don't know if it is very precise because it is just on average.
But at least it's something.
And it's like
Yeah.
it's like about China, not the specific Mingyang, but I think we cannot find a specific one.
Okay, just a second, because I tried to copy it, but there are strange characters instead of letters. Okay, no, it doesn't work this way because.
I think it's something like $550.
Okay, because there is. Okay, I'll try a different way. Can you see it?
Yes.
Just a photo.
Here's the help.
That the turbine price has fallen to 3,500, and the cost of wind farm construction has dropped to 7,000. But then I also try to look for projects done by this company to see if I can derive the price, as the professor said.
Okay.
And I'm also reading an article. I'll send you the link now. It's not about our turbine because it is the 3 megawatts and it is offshore, this one, but it says that it is the first European offshore wind project done by a Chinese manufacturer. And it is here in Italy, off the coast of Taranto, for Ilaria that knows Italy.
Yeah. Just 1 second.
It's in English.
Okay.
But it doesn't specify the price, so.
So they sell also in Italy.
Mm-hmm.
And
maybe that's interesting for the professor.
I think that information which Sophia found for the price at least give us
an idea.
The understanding how much can it cost.
Yeah.
I didn't convert it to euros, but
it's more or less $550. I did it in Google, I think.
Okay.
I will send you the updated file.
Thanks. And I see that there are other articles concerning wind farms built in inner China, but the problem is that I don't have access if I don't, because I yeah, exactly.
Thank you, Tatiana, for the summary.
Welcome. It's not the full information, but at least it can be used as a plan.
Yeah, we can read it like.
Okay, we have 10 seconds. Who is going to perform?
Hello. So I think almost everyone is here now. Almost. Let me switch on my light. So
yeah,
are we all back? Must be. Okay, so we've had quite a number of groups here, a few European companies, one Chinese, and one focusing on floating wind turbines. So I'd like you to volunteer to tell us a few words about your findings. Particularly interesting to discuss, what you found in terms of specific turbines and what you found in terms of costs. So I think it will help us all to have this conversation, to even compare between manufacturers and compare between, setups and so on. So who wants to go first?
We can start group one.
Please go ahead, Eva.
Yes. So we chose Enercon company, which is a German company. It is the fourth biggest turbine producer worldwide. It has about 31,000 wind energy converter installed all around the world.
Mm-hmm.
And they have 12 wind turbines, different types, and we focused on the one that had the greater rated power, which is 5,560 kilowatt.
Okay.
So the rotor diameter is 160 meters. The hub 8 is 120. Sorry, someone is calling me. Sorry.
Was that a very cheerful ringtone?
Yes, here there is they were showing a graph about the annual energy production, and for a wind speed of 11 meter per second, it can produce 31,000 megawatts per year.
Okay.
If I'm reading right, yeah. Now my colleagues will continue because we decided to all speak in the group,
Okay, sure.
so they will continue with the more specific details. Yeah.
We found out that this turbine has a specific wind class. So I'm talking about the IEC classification. There are there can be different types of wind turbines related to the site where you locate them. So if there is an high wind site or a low wind site, the design is different because it is useful to optimize the performance of the turbine. And our product, our turbine is classified as IEC 3A, and it is for low wind sites.
Mm-hmm.
And turbines in lower wind speed locations need a larger rotor to capture the same amount of energy as a similar turbine located in higher wind locations. So it has a larger rotor. And then we found out about the price, that obviously the cost can be very different. It depends on the size of the turbines, and also how many turbines you install. So obviously single turbine sites cost more than multiple turbine sites. So it is about economies of scale. And our turbine is gearless, and we found out that it is more efficient than gearbox turbines. So it means that you have also a higher return on investment. And I think that it is important in huge investment for turbines to have a higher return. And we found that the price market for turbines is more or less 1,300 or 500 euros for kilowatts. So we think that for a turbine we are around 8,000 euros. And then if Lorpu want to add something.
Yes.
Okay.
We also found out that the turbine is gearless and has a direct drive technologies. And the direct drive technologies, it generates speed that is equivalent to the rotor speed, and it's connected directly to the generator. So this also have an annual generator which comprises of the rotor and the stator. These one key component of the Anycom wind energies. It is converted almost like a design. It has a combined hub and it provides optimal energy flow within this annual generator. Then also we have the advantage of this direct drive wind turbines is that the direct drive wind turbine is it have a high efficiency of synchronous permanent magnet generators. So I think my colleagues would like to add up to what I just said.
I think that's okay.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. Which group company wants to go first? Next.
Maybe I can go next for
Sure, please.
General Electric. Okay. So basically, we looked at the Haliade X, which is one of the largest prototypes in the world right now. So the prototype that's currently existing is at Rotterdam, and it's a 14 megawatt wind turbine. So, and the model itself, it's almost 250 meters high, so it's enormous. And the diameter of the rotor is 220 meters. So basically, given this huge size, it's much more efficient than a lot of the turbines currently on the market. And I see it has a capacity factor of about 64%. So, and a wind class rating of IC. So basically, I guess it can withstand very high wind gusts. And the cost is around 12 million US dollars, but you also have to factor in like foundation cost, which is about 3 million, plus some installation, which would be about, I guess, $500,000 US dollars. So in the end, it would probably cost about 15 million US dollars per turbine. So, but you would have a lot of savings due to the efficiency, and also since you would need less turbines, I guess you could save there as well on the foundation costs, because it's such a huge turbine, right? So you would need less of them in a single wind farm. So yeah, that's pretty much what I got. Don't know if my colleagues want to add anything. Okay.
And did the cost you referenced, what was the currency you said? Was that euros?
No, US dollars.
Okay, that was
So
US dollars.
12 million, yeah.
Okay, so and that was specifically for the 12 megawatt configuration?
No, that was for the 14 megawatt configuration, but it's just an estimate based on like consulting companies' figures.
Right. And that was installed capacity, or was it like, just the turbine?
That's just the turbine. So if you add like the foundation and installation, it would, I guess you would have to factor in those. It would go into approximately 15-16 million price range, US dollars still.
So again, in that sense, we're looking at something like about 1,200 US dollars per installed kilowatt of the turbine, roughly speaking. Yeah. Okay. So what I'm doing there, really, for your understanding, is I'm just taking, I'm doing 15 millions divided by what is the size of the turbine's capacity. So that is, let's say, 14,000 kilowatts, for example.
Yeah.
And I'm getting something a little bit over 1,000 USD per installed, which is not installed, by the way, per kilowatt on the turbine. So if that was to be installed, it would be probably around 1,200. Which I should say, I'm mentioning all that because that is not about price, yeah? I'm thinking of it in terms of what it used to be. So when I was dealing with these things the first time, that was approximately, now it makes me think I'm too old already, that was approximately 20 years ago. Turbines used to come at something around 1,100 euros per installed kilowatt. And that was, of course, onshore, and that was way smaller turbines. So a little bit more expensive than what you see here, but not hugely more expensive. What has become very different through that period of time is the capacity factor of these turbines. So the Haliade, what kind of capacity factors were you seeing there?
About 64%, 60 to 64%.
So this is what has grown insanely high. So that is essentially you get a turbine which will be producing close to its rated output for like 60% of the time, 61, 62% of the time. The ones I'm talking about, you'll be paying the same price per installed capacity of the turbine, but it will be producing for about 25 to 30% of the time. So you're looking for, below half of the productivity that you would get back then, of the revenue you would get, today. So profitability of these new turbines is insanely high in that regard. Do you know why that's the case? What has changed in these 20 years? Why is that so? What happened to capacity factor and it went from 25 to 60%?
I think since it's a bigger turbine, it can withstand like higher wind gusts, so it can be active for like more time, maybe.
Good. There's a number of things going on. One is the turbines are installed in places where there is more wind, because these are typically, most of these turbines, the very large ones, can be installed offshore, so there are better wind qualities anyway. So that is one reason. The other is exactly because of that reason, you could install them in places where they get a lot of storms, so they can harvest a lot more wind. So again, more productivity. And the other one, which is quite important, is because they're so big, they go all the way a lot higher, and the higher you go, the stronger the winds are. The closer to the surface you are, the less windy it is. So if you can go up to 200 meters, that is a totally different wind speed than what you have on the ground at ground level. So that's another reason why these turbines tend to harvest wind way more effectively. So that's all that. Let's move on. Thank you very much,
Professor?
guys. Yes?
Professor? I was from the GE group, and I had a question. So I did some research on maintenance costs, and it looks pretty expensive, right? It's like 50 to 100K a year. And I was wondering, how do you factor that, like 50 grand to 100 grand a year per unit? And so I was wondering, how do you factor that in your financing decision? Do you just calculate the net present value of your maintenance costs, or do you not even care? Are you just going to worry about that later on? Because, over the lifetime of the unit, though, they do add up to like, million plus, right?
One thing to think of is, there's no doubt, of course you care about that, and you need, scheduling maintenance and all of that. So it is very important, and it's even more important because you often have to take the turbine down. You have to stop the turbine from working, so it doesn't make any money when you're maintaining it. So it's not just 50K, it can be higher than that. So you do need to take this into account, and you do take into account in your annual income. So when you're thinking of your annual income, you need to be thinking of how much money you won't make and how much money you will spend because of maintenance purposes. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that does. But so we don't factor that into our initial financing decision. We just worry about that later on and put it against the cash flows coming from.
Well, it will influence your cash flow, though. It will influence your cash flow and the time at which you can break even and all of that. So it will make your investment less profitable, clearly.
And are there tax incentives? I know in the United States there are, like, you can write off a lot of those maintenance costs. Is that the same in Europe?
I wouldn't write them off. You even put things in there like, more accidental kind of stuff that can make your turbine stop completely for much longer in the middle of the winter that nobody can go and fix it. So no, you don't write them off at all. In terms of operation, you still need them, you need them in. Because it's a significant OPEX in a way.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, okay. So, who is next?
Me, Ludovica.
Ludovica, hello.
Okay, so I'm going for the floating one.
Okay.
And so we focused on a project which is the first one who has been developed in 2017, which is the iWind Scotland. It's owned by Mazda and Equinor. But we found out that the company who was producing the wind farm is Saipem, and now there are also many other projects for that. Now the point is, for this kind of floating wind turbine, we already know what's the benefit of it, and now the problem about buying one of these is the cost, which is like 3 times more the cost of a normal wind turbine. That's true. For this project, for example, we had 5 floating turbines for a total capacity of 30 megawatt per hour. So 6 megawatt for each turbine. Okay. And that's about 264 million euros. So that's a lot. And so right now the bottom fixed turbines stay the more sustainable from the point of view, from the economic point of view. But what I saw in some graph is the decreasing cost in the future years. So I have a graph with me, and if the fixed foundation offshore wind power is going to decrease its cost like around 50% in 2030 or 2050, for the floating one, the reduction of the cost is around 80%. So this kind of project is going to cost less and less, but of course it's kind of new. So the information that we found on the internet were not huge, because it's something that just from a few years they are actually installing them. And the price proposed for the moment is 240 euros per megawatt. So we thought about a wind turbine about 6 megawatt would cost around 1,500 euro for each turbine per hour, which is not that much. And one of the major buyers for the future is Japan, as we said before. And I found another data on internet who says that Japan expect to the power from floating wind turbine for Japan expected is around 424 gigawatt in a few years, because for the moment they are not able to build any wind turbine, but with the floating one they could reach like 424 gigawatt. And also, Europe, it's something like that, around like 200 gigawatt in all Europe. So this for sure is growing, but it's kind of new. So for the moment we have just a few countries who already begin to install this, like Portugal, and in UK there is a project who began, but it's not finished yet.
Correct. Can I interrupt you? So you said before 1,500 euros per installed kilowatt, and was that the cost you expect to get to in the future, or current costs?
Well, in 2021-22, so I would say current.
Okay, it is current cost. Okay, that's good.
It's not for megawatt; it's for turbine. I put like a turbine harvesting 6 megawatt per hour, let's say, and this would cost 1,400 euros per hour.
Yeah. Just for me to clarify something, when you see megawatt hours or kilowatt hours, this is not kilowatts or megawatts per hour. This is multiplied. It is not divided. So when you see, I'm gonna write it. When you see, I'm writing it. I mean, I'm not singling out you. I'm just using the opportunity because lots of you are getting this like that. So this is so it's a megawatt. It is not a you know, like megawatt, if you see what I mean. So the hour is multiplied with the megawatts to make a megawatt hour. It's not divided.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah. So this is there is no unit of megawatt per hour. This doesn't exist.
Oh, so price 4 megawatt hour.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that's not that good then.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's, you know, it's a developing market. We'll see where it goes. I mean, we know it's going to go cheaper because it has a lot of potential to reduce costs, and if offshore wind is anything to go by, you know, there's a lot of room for improvement. So we will see a lot there, I think. Thank you very much for telling us about the floating wind turbines. I think it's one. I mean, in my opinion, it's one of the most exciting developments in the in the wind energy arena. And for some countries, it's the only way to produce energy in the next few decades. So we'll leave that here. Who wants to go next? Thank you.
I think we can go next. It's the
yes.
Siemens Group.
Oh, yes.
Okay. So we decided to talk about Siemens turbine. So this group is like it's now called Siemens Gamesa because it's half from Germany, half from Spain. And it's a huge group that it's now been working on wind turbine for over 30 years. And it has an installed capacity in the world of wind turbine of more than 99 gigawatt and more than 29,000 wind turbines. So it's actually a lot. We decided to talk about an offshore wind turbine. It's called SG 8.0167DD. It's an offshore, and it's designed for the most difficult spot since it's also designed for high wind. It has a rotor diameter of 167 meters, and the blade length it's 81.4 meters. And its nominal power is 8,000 kilowatt, so 8 megawatt actually. And it has some particularities, like it has this sort of power regulation system that is called pitch regulation system. So it is a kind of technology that is used to operate and control the angle of the blades in a wind turbine. It means that this kind of turbine's electronic controller checks the power output of the turbine like several times per second. And when the power output becomes too high, it sends like an order to the blade pitch mechanism, which immediately will turn the rotor blades out of the wind, so it doesn't get damaged. And since it's designed for high wind, it has also this kind of technology that is called high wind ride-through. That is a system that is a kind of breakthrough in stabilizing the energy output. So it means that like when most of the other wind turbine, when the wind speed is higher than 25 meters per second, they will stop. But since this one is equipped with this system, this will slowly ramp down the power output. And so it will kind of enabling a smoother production ramp down. So we'll also have like a more reliable electrical grid since it will not shut it off. And also it has another particularities that all the turbines have a turbine sensor that continuously transmit data to the Siemens Diagnostic Center. So they enable like an early detection of and they prevent potential damages. So yeah, I think that's all what I wanted to say. Simone can go on.
Yeah, I just wanted to add that when we speak about wind class, we basically opted for a strong wind turbine, and which means the reference wind speed is about 15 meters per second, while the turbulence rate, which is like a measure of the variance of the wind speed, is around 18%. And yeah, just a glimpse to the future, we wanted to add that by 2022, Siemens will be producing like 11 megawatts wind turbines, and by 2024 it will reach 14 megawatts. And that's it. Thank you.
You're very welcome, and thank you very much for this presentation. Petra, do you want to say something?
Yeah, I just want to add that I was looking up for the cost, but I couldn't find it. And I wrote an email to the Siemens, so maybe they will get me back, because I couldn't find it anywhere. So sorry for that.
No, it's okay. Did you tell them that you're a very rich investor that wants to buy 100 of them?
Of course, I asked for 10 of them, and then it depends on the price.
Give me a good price, I'll be there. One important thing to say here is with wind energy installations, if I were to ask you a speculative question, if you had everything you needed in terms of financing and allocation and everything today for your wind farm, and you were to put an order to any of the companies we just discussed, how soon do you think you would get your turbines delivered? Have you seen any of that information around?
No, I haven't, but I would say about, well, it depends on how many, but around 1 year. I don't know.
Anybody has seen that kind of information from any team? How long is the delivery?
I would say 5 years.
It's somewhere in the middle. It's about 2.5 to 3 years these days. So it's not it's not a fast process. Basically, that means that wind turbine factories are sold out for 2.5 years. That's quite a good place to be for them. I mean, you know, it's a good security level for them. They know that whatever they produce will be sold, has been sold already. Actually, things are sold before they produce them. So it's a very good industry. And even though it keeps growing every year, so every year they keep adding capacity to be able to produce more turbines per year, they're still being sold out non-stop. It's quite an interesting one. So basically production cannot cope with demand. So that's an interesting one for us to think of, and it leads us to the very next theme. Who will talk from the next team, please?
Min Yang, maybe?
Min Yang, exactly. Why does that lead us there? Because that's a Chinese manufacturer. So when it comes to low manufacturing capacity, there is only one country that normally solves that. That's China. So let us know what you found there from the Chinese wind turbines.
Yes, Min Yang is one of the largest wind turbine manufacturers in China. And by the way, in 2011, it was ranked among the top largest manufacturers in the world. It was among 10 first manufacturers. That's why we decided to choose this company, and we were analyzing the onshore wind turbine, which capacity is 4 megawatt. and the main it's very efficient onshore wind turbine because of the largest capacity, ultra small volume of the semi-direct drive. I remember you typed that there was direct drive, and this one is semi-direct drive. And ultra low cost per kilowatt hour. What else? That cut in wind speed is 2.5 meter per second, rated wind speed 9.7, and cut out wind speed 25, which is among average, I think. What else? And we also found that regarding the price, we didn't find the price exactly for this manufacturer, but we found out that in the past 20 years, China's wind turbines price has fallen by 70% to 3,550 yuan per kilowatt, I think, and this is more or less $550 per kilowatt. This is the only information we found.
So let me see if we can calculate that a little bit. So can you say again what was the size you were talking about? Say it again, so I can.
Yes, 4,000 kilowatt.
So 4,000 kilowatt, and what was the cost? For all Chinese market, it was 3,550 yuan per kilowatt. 3,500 yuan per kilowatt. So okay, so that is roughly, say, divided by 8 to make it euros. So that is 437. I say here. I mean, that's roughly, the conversion is probably not correct, but I think it's one. Is it 1 on 8 with the euro? Something like that. Let me see.
Yes.
Yeah, it is roughly 1 on 8. Yeah. So yeah, it's crazy. Yeah? You're talking about less than half the cost of the other turbines we have been looking at.
Yes, that's why when I was listening to other groups, I was thinking maybe we found the wrong information.
No. It is what I have been expecting, to be honest. And of course, these costs are true for China. It doesn't necessarily have to be that they're true for any other part of the world. So it could be that if you were to try to install these turbines in another part of the world, it could be more expensive because you need to export them. You need the turbines to travel, so that has significant costs. There might be taxes that need to be paid in a new country and all of that. So it's not necessarily that these costs could be exactly the same. I don't know if you take these turbines in Germany, but it's very indicative, A, of how low cost renewable energy is in China, and B, of the potential really to import these turbines to Europe or other places and really lower our costs for these installations. I mean, I haven't seen a lot of intelligence when it comes to quality for these turbines, but I would probably think that they're not that bad. I mean, they seem to be doing a lot of progress, and they seem to be, advancing them quite well over the last few years. So I think it won't take long until we start seeing these ones in Europe and in the US, and in contracts abroad outside of China.
Actually, regarding the contracts abroad, we read that they already installed some turbines in Italy. They already had the project with Italy. Yes.
Did you see which developer did that? Which company has developed the project?
Let me check if I've. Chinese turbine maker Mingyang has completed the delivery of wind turbines for the 30 megawatts Taranto offshore wind project of Italy.
Okay, the Taranta project, you said?
Yes, Taranto.
Taranto, yeah.
Taranto.
Okay, Taranto wind project.
And we also found an article about Mingyang that 1 month ago has just made a new wind turbine that is the largest turbine in the world. and
Sorry, how
will
big
be
is it, you said?
16.
16, correct, yeah. This is the one, yeah.
16 megawatt and 242 meters diameter the rotor and 118 the long blades.
Yeah, this is that was very much in the news recently, like a week or two ago. It was very recent that we've had this one. Okay, so this is, I mean, obviously they're starting to do some serious things there. We'll see how it plays out. I think I'm very hopeful for that, because in a way, I don't think there's the same potential like it was with, say, with solar panels. That suddenly solar panel production went to China and we saw the costs going down 10 times. I don't think that with wind energy we're going to see costs going down 10 times. That's not the same. But I think we will see costs going down by 20-30%, and that is already a very significant change in terms of profitability and easiness of letting projects begin in many countries in Europe. Okay, so that's very useful. Thank you very much. Do you guys want a quick break before we continue?
No.
I see some thumbs up. Not a lot of enthusiasm though. I don't even have a tool to make polls with this thing. How do I make a poll to see what we should do? Ah, okay.
Maybe by raising hand. Likes.
Yes, let's do it like that. Raise a hand if you want a break. Raise a hand if you want a break. Okay. Yeah. Wait, how many are we here? Because I see 33, but that's not really 33. How many we are really here? Okay, so 12 of you want a break and 10 of you don't want a break. So we will have a quick break, literally just 10 minutes. And we will also try to finish a little bit earlier today, okay? So 10 minutes from now until like 15, 16, 17 past, okay?
Okay, thank you.
See you soon, bye. Hello. So now we've finished with all of your presentations about the wind turbines and the companies you looked at. I want us to continue to be looking at a few more angles about wind energy, and that's how we'll close this session for today. So let me share my slides again with you. This way. So slides are here. Here it is. So previously we saw things like like the curves of the wind turbines and so on. Now this is not what we're gonna stop at now, but I want you to see things like this one. So this is a graph where you have what we call the kind of assessment that you would normally do at a wind farm location. So this is not about the wind farm with the turbines, it's what you do before you go there and you install your wind farm. So imagine if you're an investor and you're thinking of installing a very significant wind farm, as you realized already, large wind farms are expensive. They're not small peanuts. Some of the bigger ones we have, some of the bigger offshore installations we have here in the UK, they're coming in cost of billion pounds. Yeah. So typically they will require a consortium of investors. They will require a lot of due diligence. Basically, nobody puts down this kind of money without first investigating into every possible detail, if the productivity and if the financial profitability of a wind farm of that sort is guaranteed. Yeah. So what do you need to do that? Clearly, you need to understand, one of the things you need to understand is how fast the wind blows in that area. And it's not really the only question. So the speed of the wind is not the only question. There are also questions about how gusty the wind is, so how rapidly the wind speed might be changing, how dangerous gusts might be in terms of do they really go extremely fast and can they damage your turbines and so on. So there are all sorts of these questions which are extremely important in decision making for wind energy investment. Now, like I said before, understanding the wind speed in a location is a very important thing to do. Nowadays, we start to have relatively decent wind speed data for a very large number of locations around the world. Not all of that data is produced in the right level of detail. So even when you see wind speed maps that basically cover every part of the planet, these aren't necessarily as accurate as they pretend to be. Very often they're estimates. So there might be a wind speed meter in a specific location, and then you extrapolate from that location what the real wind speed might be 100 kilometers away. And in reality, that's not exactly accurate, because wind speed is very vulnerable to local geography. It is a lot worse when you're looking onshore. So on land, there are all sorts of things on geography, little hills, trees, infrastructure, bridges, roads, buildings, whatever. All of these things can have a very significant impact in how the wind speed is being, changes. And they can have a significant impact that can go both ways. It can increase the wind speed or reduce it. So it's not necessarily the case that wind speed will have to fall because of these, anomalies on geography. But nevertheless, they do play a significant role, and they do change a lot what we think we can predict for a particular location if we just extrapolate data from another location and say, right, okay, if wind speed is 10 meters per second on average, at place A, 100 kilometers left might be, the same. It might not in reality. Now, it's a lot better offshore, exactly because there aren't that many geographical disturbances, and even more so if you're not inside any specific straits. So if you're not looking offshore, say in a channel or in a strait, in a narrow location and so on, but rather you're looking in the open sea completely, then you can have way more comparable data between locations, and that is something that is very useful for wind energy assessments, and it allows us to have much more reliable data, even if we don't have anemometers, which are wind speed meters, located in every possible location. So regardless, you need a way to create that kind of knowledge base for your wind speed relatively to the locations you're thinking of building your wind farm. The way that normally wind farms are being built is that governments tend to make a certain area, a certain geographical area, a field, essentially, either offshore or onshore. They make it available. So they say, the seabed from here to here, geographical locations, is available for development. And then developers will go in, will assess the area, will gather the best data they can, and they will submit proposals. And they'll say, right, okay, for this area, we could be building a wind farm with that many wind turbines, with that many, that are going to be that big, and they will produce that much energy, and we will take specific care of cabling to have the cabling going through this direction and arriving on land. And on land, we will connect it to a specific, electricity substation so it can enter the grid. So all of these elements of the project need to be defined at that point, including the onshore, the landfall of the cables and where the cables will be connected to the main grid of the whatever country that is. And that's, of course, another huge part of these projects, because